Whale on wheels. So, hello everyone, my name is Sasha Pavlov, and today in this issue I will try to perform the first technical work to eliminate some problems that I found in the process of operation. Even the steam is coming out of my mouth. Now I'm going to try to solve one of the problems I found, which is a very unpleasant sound under the hood of the bus. Last time I managed to replace 2 tensioners and everything should be fine, but the belt keeps making sounds. A friend advised me a way to check it. You need to pour some water on the belt, and all extraneous sounds immediately disappeared. So I immediately bought a new belt in the store. It has the following marking: 6RK2000. But if you buy on your car, be sure to check the literature to choose the right size. On my installed was exactly the same, so I hope it solved the problem. Drain the coolant. You have to open the lid to drain everything. On the other hand, this lid hardly works at all. Next, you need to unscrew the oil cooler from the main cooler. It is held by only 2 clips, one on the top and one on the bottom. This is how the engine looks with the radiator removed. The most important thing is to remember the location of the belt. In order to remove it, we need to loosen it. And for this purpose, this mechanism was invented. With the help of this spring, the belt is tensioned by pulling up the bottom roller, so that the belt does not fly off and transfers the force to the units mounted on the motor. And in order to loosen it, we need to use this element. We need to unscrew this bolt. Its installation is squoze, and there's a nut on the other side of it. So unscrew it. Here is the bolt. The spring is down, the belt is loose, and it can be easily removed from all the rollers. So I will do it now. As we can see visually, the belt has a very good condition. But of course it is not new, and I understand what are those drops of rubber inside the grooves. In a new belt we will not see this. The grooves are much tighter to each other, and in comparison it becomes clear that the condition of the old one is not satisfactory. So let's change it for a new one. Before installing the radiator, I'll fix a small problem. There are no damping rubbers on which it is mounted. I found them and bought them. This is what they look like. I bought them in the original version. What this serial number says on them, branded dampers. I also decided to buy a new pressure relief cap. The old one, as you can notice, is very bad, and something tells me that it hasn't worked for a long time. That's what I understand. I will also put it on before installing the radiator. Well, now I'm assembling everything in reverse order. I will try to start the engine. Have I managed to defeat the fault? To do this, we will stand on a flat surface. Wow, there's no more of those extraneous noises. Very good. Just can't believe it's gone. This is so good.
2,000 years later.
Hi everyone, here's the deal. I literally drove a few kilometers on business, and there was a problem in the city center. I was driving here, everything was fine, but when I started moving in the opposite direction, there was a problem. The bus started to stall on the road and stopped responding to the gas pedal when I pressed it. So for a second, and while driving the engine started to go out. Had to turn on the aviary lights and slowly pull over to a parking space. Luckily, it was free to stop and try to find the problem, and I have a feeling that the problem is with the fuel system. First time getting into such a story, of course. We'll try to figure it out and fix it on the spot. Well, that's it. Damn. I couldn't drive a kilometer, the fuel stopped flowing. The main thing is not to despair, stay positive, and don't get upset. Nothing terrible happened. Sunday, a bit of sport and pushing weights in the fresh air is even useful. Now we'll deal with it. Damn. As it turned out, this is indeed a problem, and it is connected with diesel fuel. It is its summer composition in winter. Diesel fuel contains quite a lot of paraffin additives to make the engine run softer. And in winter, the paraffin thickens. So winter diesel differs from summer diesel in that it contains much less paraffin. The engine runs harder, but the fuel does not thicken. So, this paraffin, which is contained in a large amount of summer diesel, when freezing turns into a substance that prevents the fuel from passing through the filters. You can find a lot of tests on the internet. People have tested how summer diesel reacts to the cold. If you are interested, you can also study this topic. For example, in this video you can see it. A trucker will tell you about diesel fuel. Here it is, just diesel fuel, a mixture with kerosene and brake fluid, and another one, minus 30 degrees. Let's see if it will flow out of the test tube at minus 30 degrees. Let's try to pour it out. It seems to flow out. But look what happens inside the flask. Inside the flask, there is paraffin on the walls, which clogs our filters. And the solution to this situation, as I was told, it is necessary to add kerosene to the diesel tank, thus diluting it. And in addition to everything, you can still heat the fuel filter, so that the paraffin dissolved and the fuel began to pass through it. So now I pour kerosene and try to start. And if it does not help, I will heat the fuel filter. And then again I will start. Gross. So, warming the spark plugs. Well, and try to start the engine. I think I'll warm it again. Oh, stalled because the fuel is still not enough. Well, everything is clear. We will now try to warm the fuel filter. Apparently the fuel still cannot reach the engine because it starts and then it still stops. Kerosene apparently couldn't solve the problem completely. We will try to warm the fuel filter. I wrapped a rag around the filter to help warm water stay on it. Not sure if it will work, but what else is left to do? It's cold outside, of course. How great an idea this is, I don't know. But if you think logically, it seems like a working scheme. It's likely that the hot water will be able to heat up the filter housing, and there will be enough temperature inside it to rust the paraffin. Right now it's about -9 outside, so it doesn't take much heat to dissolve the paraffin and get the diesel flowing back into the engine. I'll try starting the engine again. So, damn, and it's not working again. Jesus, what a horror. What is it? So, we removed the fuel intake, and as you can see, there is a huge layer of dirt on it. I think the factory did not intend such a thing, that's why the engine refused to start. Let's try to clean the fuel intake screen and see if it will help to solve the problem. Why, you may ask, take such a huge bus? Help to solve the problem.
Сняли колбу, там обнаружили тоже невероятно огромное количество грязи и даже, наверное, с водой и льдом, потому что это все заморозилось, как бы, и я думаю, насосу было, мягко говоря, не прикольно, работая в таком экстра вонючем режиме, вот, поэтому чистим это все. Даня сейчас сидит, отогревает, и, блин, огромное спасибо Дане, что он взял вот так вот, сорвался и помогает нам разобраться с этой, блин, с поганой ситуацией. Но на будущее, понятное дело, в перспективе нужно...
And to this, I will answer you that I want to make a retro motorhome, a comfortable motorhome, in which it would be possible to live for a long time and not to feel discomfort. It will be a kind of in a bus from Dirty Dog.
Такая же проблема и еще более, может быть, худшая в самих топливных фильтрах, которые находятся дальше. Но я надеюсь, что прочистка вот этой сетки в топливоприемнике, она поможет нам. В общем, ладно.
Чистенькая.
You're about to get bounced right in the forehead. Why? Well, you sure are lucky. Now I'm starting to build a project for me, and I will tell about it on this channel in all the following videos about how we build, what I'm starting with, how I repair it, how we fix it. Well, I remind you that Sasha Pavlov was with you. If you like the idea of realizing such a bus, be sure to put a like, and of course write comments. Perhaps they can help me in solving a large number of my questions. Well, I will try to understand everything. So write, advise me, maybe I can use it. 100% will be useful. Bye. About how we build, what I'm starting with, how I repair it, how... And of course write comments. In the end, I found out that it turns out that a bath is useful not only for a man. With the help of it, we managed to thaw the filter completely and pour out a lot of dirt and water from it. After that, having installed it on the engine, we were able to pump the fuel system with the help of the starter. And sometimes still torturing us, we managed to start the engine. At idle speed, it worked perfectly. For about 20 minutes, we gave it to work. And then with a calm soul, we were able to drive finally home. It turns out that the reason for the engine not working was a huge amount of dirt, which clogged the fuel intake and did not allow fuel to reach the engine, as well as icy fuel filter. Having cleaned and serviced these elements, fuel began to circulate in the system without problems and enter the engine. And of course, you should keep an eye on it. Well, I'll say goodbye to you. Give me a like if you liked the video. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss new videos. And of course, write comments. That's it. Bye.